Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan. Today, Farmer Cass and I are going to be sitting down, a little catching up. It's been a while since we've had Cass on the show. Cass recently went to a maple festival for her Master Gardener class, so we're going to cover a little bit of that. Baby chick craze is at an all-time high. I think people might be losing their minds. We're also going to be talking about the chicken tractor assembly line we have going on here, and this is a birthday special. Nothing really special about it, other than both Cassidy and I have birthdays this month. That's what's coming up on the SGF. Stay tuned. All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. Sitting down today with the lovely Farmer Cass. How's it going, Cass?
It's going good.
What you been up to? We haven't had you on in a little bit now, and I know you've been busy, especially on Fridays. I don't think we really talked about it. Now you're in a Master Gardener program, correct?
I am. Yes.
So why don't you educate us a little bit about what that is?
Well, the Master Gardener class, I believe, is a statewide or multiple states. Like every state has a Master Gardener's program.
Okay.
As far as I am concerned.
I think you're right. I think that's true.
Yeah. So this one that I'm taking is with the Yukon Extension.
Sure.
Yukon University of Connecticut Extension. And its proximity is very close to us. It's located right on Wolf Den Road in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's like less than 3 miles.
Yeah, it takes me less than 10 minutes to get there in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. Every Friday, I don't remember exactly how many weeks it is.
But I know it ends in June?
It ends,
Wow.
the beginning of June.
And you started
when did it start?
January?
Middle of January? Yeah. So it's every Friday from 9 to 1, and it goes...
Months.
Yeah. Goes over a plethora of different topics, all things plant-related for the most part. You know, soil, water, herbaceous, perennials.
Now, it's more for a homeowner, or is it more for someone working in the field?
I would say somewhere in the middle of the road there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's more geared towards homeowner or people that just have a hobby of all things plant related. It doesn't, because it's such a broad class and it goes over so many different topics. You can't digest it all.
Yeah,
we had one week was all about plant pathology. One week was all about entomology and the study of insects in relation to your gardens and what you in nature.
Do you feel like you're getting something out of it?
I do, yeah.
Cool.
If
That's
anything,
good.
I'm happy I get access to all of the PowerPoints afterwards. So I've got a lady in my class. She prints them all out.
Whoa.
I know, and that's a lot of pages. So, and she gets it colored and everything. Very nice. So I'm thinking maybe I should look into that. But I know myself, and I know I'm one of those people that'll put it on a shelf and forget about it for another couple years. Find it when I'm cleaning someday. Stop cleaning to read it for a couple hours.
Lose track of days, weeks, time.
Yep. But it's definitely so many different resources. And every week there's a different instructor of the class. Usually they are kind of experts in their field. The last week was vegetables. You do last week?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a farmer named Ian. I can't remember what his farm's name was, but he was from Higganum, Connecticut.
Okay.
And it was really cool because he was very similar to our situation, only farming on a couple acres and was maximizing his grow space. Had a couple greenhouses, did a lot of it in the market garden. Is renting a couple acres or maybe 1 acre elsewhere
for veggie production.
Yeah. Yep, so he had some good insights.
It's a chronic issue, folks. These first-gen farmers, we're just trying to carve our way, and farmland is stupid money.
Right, and I think there's some programs out there that you can, get into to help find and purchase farmland. But for the most part, if you're trying, you're not going to get a loan for that necessarily for land.
I mean,
like you would for like a home
to...
buyer's loan kind of thing.
I mean,
if it doesn't have a house on it, you're not getting...
Right. Well, and also, like, if it doesn't have a house, it doesn't have plumbing. So what all are you doing there?
Right,
That's the tough thing. I mean, we couldn't even do chicken tractors in, just a random field somewhere because we'd have to transport the water, which we're going to do this year anyway.
Right.
To try to get a feel for that whole system. Now, Lori and Venus both said we could use their well, but I don't want to rely on it. Because it is a new well, but it's also super gracious, like super generous of them to say that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be going through some water. I mean, like 60-ish gallons a day.
Right.
Maybe less because I'm improving the watering system for the chickens, so they may consume less. But time will tell. Time will tell on that. So okay, yeah. Back to the Master Gardener class.
Yes.
So it's a 6-month program. Last week you did veggies. I remember a couple weeks ago you were doing bugs,
2 weeks ago
entomology.
we did veggies. This past Friday we did plants in the environment.
What does that mean exactly? What was it?
Oh man.
Because I know you told me that was a topic, and I'm like, that's so vague.
Yeah. Having a little brain fart.
Native plants, maybe, or
it was about native plants, but it was more about. Oh man, I should have refreshed.
Well. I mean, it was 2 days ago.
It was 2 days ago.
But I know how it goes. I know how it goes.
Let me pull it up. Let's see.
Well, while Cassidy pulls that up, here's a fun little message. Guys, if you're anything like me, your day starts the same pretty much every day. You wake up, you drag yourself over to the coffee pot, and you begin to brew yourself that sweet elixir that's going to keep you going all day. Now, where we differ is what's in that coffee pot. We're not big fans of the big commercial coffee companies. The flavor's just not there. We're big fans of Two Dogs Coffee Company, and for the past 2 seasons, that's all we've been drinking. And I mean literally 2 seasons, 2 full years. Two Dogs Coffee is the only coffee that we brew. Artisanally roasted, fresh to order, and ethically sourced, Two Dogs Coffee is the only thing that we've been drinking here at the farm. This is not a paid advertisement, okay? I just like them over there. Brittany and Gwillem, they do great business, and they create such a good product. I can't put it down. I'm having some right now. I'm a big fan of their original Frank's blend. Brazilian and Colombian beans, and it's a medium roast. Hints of caramel, chocolate, some other stuff. It's coffee. Two Dogs Coffee. Get some. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what exactly was class about this week?
Well, I'm almost embarrassed to say I guess I didn't learn from it as much as I should have.
It's okay.
I got to go back in my notes. But I do remember that we talked a lot about, different nutrient deficiencies that you can see in plants.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so sometimes nutrient deficiencies can be a little bit tough to identify because there's so many different, or there's so many, signs or symptoms that kind of look the same as other things.
Makes it tricky.
Yeah, but we talked about that. We talked about how to spot fertilizer damage, things like that, water damage.
Herbicide damage.
That's
a big one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We used to deal with that a lot at Canterbury when I worked there. Sometimes, if somebody, if like an herbicide got applied improperly, then you would definitely notice like the leaves would curl up.
Yeah.
And just look like not necrotic because they didn't necessarily change color right away. They were still pretty green, but they would just like deform. The leaves did not like that. And I think that had a lot to do with time of day that you apply it. And some of them were meant to be applied and then watered in. Okay. So like if you didn't do that, then you just...
I feel like they should all probably be watered in.
I don't know because, well, yeah, right. Herbicide is like is to kill anything growing in the pot.
Oh,
other
or
than
actually,
your plant.
no. I'm thinking more of fertilizer. Actually, yeah.
Okay, so nutrient.
Nutrients.
You learned, or you were learning about like looking at a plant and trying to figure out what was wrong with it.
Right. Plants in their environment, I guess.
Interesting.
And how you could look at one and see if it's not thriving, and how you might be able to come up with some ideas on why and how to fix it. And they went over a little bit about watering, and they were saying that most gardens want about 1 inch of rain per week.
Per week,
yeah.
What is most gardens, though? Like, ours needs more than that. You know what I mean? And is that like veggie garden or like perennial garden, like someone's just flower garden?
I guess it's more based off of, environment. Like, if you have an area that's more naturally wet, like if it was around the pond, that doesn't need to be watered. It's already got probably more than 1 inch of water a week.
I see what you mean.
Or
at least more access to groundwater.
Right. Or like, a garden that is shaded in the afternoon. Not going to need to be watered as often. But our garden is full sun.
Full sun all the time.
Yep. We talked more about drip irrigation, which I'm kind of having a newfound, maybe... Love? Not love. I really don't love drip irrigation. That is wrong. But maybe a little misunderstanding between me and drip irrigation before. Yeah. So I think the combination of our lack of pressure in the garden and not being able to have all of the drip irrigations on at the same time because of that lack of irrigation, we'd be watering for an 8 hour. It would be a full-time job.
Yeah.
Putting the water on, the drip irrigation on. I did mention it to my instructor. I was like, I don't like drip irrigation. We've tried it. Do you have any recommendations? Maybe I did something wrong.
The farmer.
The plants and the environment instructor, John, the actual instructor of my class.
Oh, sure.
He did this module or whatever. I asked him if he covered it because I had heard from one of the other instructors that they'll put a layer of mulch over it, maybe to help.
Over the tape?
Yeah, maybe to help from...
blowing
around and
moisture.
Evaporation, maybe. Oh. Maybe it helps keep it in the soil. That's what
right.
I thought.
No, that
maybe.
makes sense. Yeah, no. Yeah, it holds moisture better.
Right. And he said no, he doesn't put anything over his drip irrigation except for the garden stakes to keep it in one spot. And then I said, well, I felt like we didn't have enough pressure, and I feel like it didn't work as well.
Yeah.
And he said, you could do a double line, so you have one, like the start of the hose on one side of the garden, another start, and then the drip irrigation's coming off of that. So then you have, really the lack of pressure will be in the middle, because you'll have beginning pressure, I guess. I don't know. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? I'm having a hard time explaining it.
No, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. I think I understand what he was saying.
Yeah, but it might not.
Yeah, I think because of our situation, our biggest issue is distance. So even if we had a new headline where the water started, like, maybe. But we already have a system like that. Like, we have one main hydrant, and off of that, it splits into 2 main lines. Yeah. So we already have that system. We switched to overhead. I talked about it in so many episodes, but I'm very happy about the switch because I feel like watering's more efficient. Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't feel it. I know it. Our crop yield this year, especially in the fall, in my opinion, what was that? Was that an eye roll there? Was
No. It was a little like, I will have to do some further research.
60 pounds of carrots in a 60-foot bed.
But I think that those were crops that can handle the overhead watering. I still think about
can't.
But I think about our tomatoes. I think about maybe even like the bush beans.
Bush beans did good. The thing is more like time when you water, especially if you're going to switch to an overhead. You can't just do it obviously in the middle of the day, and even like sometimes past 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning is too late.
Right.
Like I was getting out here some mornings like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
But I was done by 6:30.
Yeah.
Whereas before, running irrigation was like a 3-hour process, sometimes 4-hour process. And honestly, I just never felt like it was enough water. You never felt like it was enough water.
I didn't.
Switching to these wobblers, like building all of our own irrigation, like has made a big difference. And I talked with Justin about this last week because he last season, I think, made the switch to all drip. Before that, he was doing the tripod.
Really?
He would move the tripod
So he's
around.
the opposite of what we were doing.
He's the opposite, but the thing with the tripod is, and what he learned is he like moved some of the mulch back and the soil was dry. So the tripod wasn't even efficient for what he was doing. But it wasn't like this kind of sprinkler head. This sprinkler head that we use is a 360. It gets a 30-foot range. It makes a 30-foot circle, and it covers pretty well. One of those tripods is like efficient for some things, primarily grass. That's what you usually see people watering their grass with a tick, 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 tick.
Well, grass has shallow roots, right? So it doesn't need to be as soaked as
carrots
thoroughly. Yeah.
Or even flowers for that matter. Like the flowers need the water too.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about that, but he loves drip. He switched to drip. He puts mulch over it to hold it down, and he has really good results.
Okay.
So again, your setup.
I guess it depends on how far it's traveling, how much of how big of a space you're trying to water.
Well, I did the math. It's almost about the same amount of production space as we have.
Okay. Well, how many different shutoffs did he have?
We didn't
get into the nitty-gritty.
We didn't get into the nitty-gritty of, how many valves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But knowing his layout, like most of the beds are in a row together, so it's probably one main line and then all the drip tapes off of that.
Yeah.
And he also has the advantage over us by his beds are a third the length.
Right.
So where ours are just blowing in the breeze because there's 60-foot drip tape.
Right. So by that end of the drip tape, it's like it's a real slow drip.
Yeah. Right. And then we were always constantly repositioning it because I never buried it. I always kept it on the surface.
All right. So if we did...
Well, we're going to do soaker. We're going to switch to a 5/8 soaker line for all the tomatoes and all the peppers. If we end up putting peppers in the market garden. But even in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
I have enough in my cart to do that whole greenhouse.
Okay.
Okay?
Man, we could be... we have tried so many different watering methods. We could have a whole channel just talking about watering methods.
Well, what I think, we're documenting in real time is, the trials of figuring out what works. Everybody's situation is different.
It's true.
I never wanted to do overhead. I was so against overhead watering because I'm like, it's going to burn the leaves. It's going to waste water. Right. Not the case. Do it right.
Yeah, not the case so far.
Not the case. I mean, dude.
I guess
the
argument would be you're watering the weeds as well.
Well,
but
if we are...
But we also mulch our rows, so...
We mulch our rows. We use fresh, basically sterilized compost because we don't put weed matter into our compost.
Yeah.
So we don't have the risk of propagating weeds that way.
Yeah.
I didn't get the market garden covered the same way I usually do in the wintertime. A little bit of a gamble, but not really, because we're still going to have the mulch and we're still going to have fresh compost. I'm not as concerned. Last year, our weed pressure was so low that I don't think hardly any of them in the market garden. What? You're looking at me like there's a lot of weeds.
There was a lot.
How many did you pull?
A lot. Buckets.
Let's get Gavin on the line. Gavin.
He's going to say too many buckets.
Gavin pulled a lot of buckets.
The chickens ate a lot of weeds.
That's true. But this greenhouse was a big culprit of that. And this year it's going to be turkeys. That's the plan anyway. But, again, I would say last year was the least amount of weed pressure we've ever had. And we did a pretty good job of getting to those plants before they went to seed. Some of them, like crabgrass, you're fighting rhizomes and you're fighting the seeds. So it's a little bit more pervasive. We have a lot of
artemisia.
A lot of mugwort.
Yep.
A lot of it.
A lot of purslane.
Well, less than we've ever had, because you know what I did with those rows that were growing purslane? I put potatoes there. So the soil was constantly agitated. Not constantly, but I would have to hill it. I'd have to till it. So like...
Hill it and till it.
Hill it and till it, baby. We should put that on a t-shirt. Also, t-shirt idea, putting it out there to the masses.
Shouldn't it be till it and hill it then?
Till it and... Well, it should be... Yeah. When we have our potato fest at Daigle Farm, which may happen this year, maybe not, maybe next year, who knows. But the potato is an underserved vegetable, and we need to have a day of celebration for it because you could do so much with it. You could turn that thing into bread. I mean, come on.
I want a
Come
baked
on.
potato bar.
Potato bar?
Baked potato bar.
Oh my God, yeah.
Loaded with all the toppings you'd like.
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
Like purple French fries.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Ooh, some hash browns. Yep. Tater tots.
Well, keep an eye
Pierogies.
out for potato bread. We're getting off topic. Hot
Potato
dogs
pie.
with potato buns.
It's getting wild.
Well, you know, whatever. But anyway, so the potatoes, that was good. We're going to grow a lot more this year. Potato Fest would be great. Keep an eye out for that. I did want to do the raffle poll in this episode. However, I did not write down the names. Not that I couldn't pause briefly to do that, because I think there were only like a handful of people. So we might do that later on in this episode real quick. But anyway, back to the class.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 more months.
Yes.
Is there anything, I'm not trying to be like demeaning, but is there anything that the Master Gardener certificate opens the door to?
I don't think anything formally.
Okay.
Like I'm not going to get any kind of college credit for it or anything. But it is a
Oh, that's right. It is
revered title.
It is amongst certain sewing circles.
Yes. Sewing, different kind of sewing your potatoes.
Oh, man, I was going for an old person joke. That was better.
That was good.
That was good.
Yes, so, when people find out you're a master gardener, they want you to work on their garden kind of thing, I guess is what I've been told.
We're going to market this.
Yeah,
I want to market this. This will be good. This will be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just really wanted to learn more, You don't know what you don't know. So I'm
Truth.
a firm believer in that. And, if you're just honing in on your craft, it's only going to be better for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have a requirement of, I believe it's 30 hours. Don't totally quote me on that, of volunteer hours you have to get in afterwards. And I'm thinking, this is how they do it. This is... Actually, it's kind of genius. I hate it because I don't want to do any volunteer work. But it's actually genius to get, every single year you get a batch. I have like 40 people in my class.
A badge?
No, like a new batch of people that come
batch.
in. Like a new group of people.
Sure.
And they all have to give 30 hours.
So wait. How many people are in your class?
I think like 40 people.
What?
Yes.
That's 1,200 man hours they're getting for free. No.
And they do a lot of different events. Like this weekend was the Maple Fest.
Yeah, so how was the Maple Fest?
They do the Mohegan Sun garden show. It was actually better than I thought. So Hebron does a Maple Fest every year. I did not check it out, so I don't know how the rest of it was. But my little area that I was, I thought it was going to be dead because we were in the Ted's IGA parking lot.
Oh, yeah. And what town was it?
Hebron.
Okay,
yeah. So I guess the main spots is it takes place in the center of town.
Okay.
And they have a maple farm pretty close because I was thinking that there was going to be, the streets were going to be lined with vendors selling maple syrup.
The streets were paved with syrup.
Yeah. Not totally.
Yeah.
You have to go to the farms for that, there's a sugar house.
Oh,
There's
a sugar shack.
Sugar shack?
Yeah,
Maple
yeah.
House?
There's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm going to look up the different names for Maple
All right.
House. Go ahead.
So there was some maple syrup to be sold, but a lot of different other vendors like selling stuff and educational things and a lot of things geared towards children. Like the parking lot I was in had a bounce house. Yeah, I was like, this is cool. There was
bounce house?
Yeah.
Was it shaped like a sugar shack?
No.
See, they missed
It
out.
was a slide.
Oh, well, slide is good too.
It was really cool.
Slide is a solid second place.
Yeah, it was cool. There was a booth there making maple slime for the kids.
Oh.
It did not smell like maple, unfortunately, which is probably good because someone would have eaten it. But
I was going to say, like, maple slime sounds like an edible.
Delicious, yeah. No, it was just the color of slime, so.
Yeah. Because maple syrup already has the consistency of slime.
I guess so.
I don't
A little bit.
like grab maple syrup often. Like, when was the last time you grabbed a handful of syrup? Never.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm talking about grabbing the slime. You grab the slime, but like, you never grab a handful of syrup.
I don't remember the last time I grabbed a handful of slime either.
Touche. Mm-hmm. Fair point. Go on.
Carry on.
You got me there.
So the Master Gardeners had a booth with a lot of different informational pamphlets and free seeds because they get a donation. I believe it's from Job Lot. Love Job Lot.
Oh, the seeds.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of organizations that will sign up to get free seeds from the Master Gardeners every year, and then also they are inevitably they're left with a bunch too. So at these tabling events, they'll bring a little box full of seeds, and that's a great way to draw people in who doesn't love free stuff. And then we also had a table set up with little cups you could take home for the kids to start their own seeds. So we had a bucket of dirt, soil. They keep
bucket of dirt.
So apparently, when I was supposed to call it dirt,
that is not the trade name. That is not the trade name.
Soil is alive.
That's right. That's right.
Dirt is fill. Soil
is compost.
Is good.
Is rich in bacteria.
But anyway, so we had a bucket of soil, some little cups for them to fill it up with.
Like a solo cup?
No, they were, I don't even know where they got them. They were genius, actually. They had little holes at the bottom, and they had cute little dome lids to put over them.
Huh.
They were genius. Yeah. They're plastic, throwaway stuff. But so, really, just really genius. They fit in the cup holders perfectly. Amazing. So they would fill up their soil in their little cups, and then we had a bunch of different seeds, some tomatoes, peppers, no cucumbers. That would have been a good
It's a little early.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep.
I mean, it's early anyway, but...
That could have been why. I'm trying to give them... But I'm thinking how many of these kids are going to take this home and this is actually going to grow.
Well, you never know. I mean, something like that could leave an impression.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and if, the parents are really into it, too, it's like, we're going to water this every day and, take good care of it. It was good soil. It was Pro Mix. I was like, dang.
Pro Mix. It's in the soil.
Yeah, I was like, man, these kids are getting good stuff. Some zinnias, nasturtiums, another kind of flower I can't remember.
Neat.
Some herbs. Yeah, so it was a little variety, and the kids could pick which, what they wanted to plant.
Oh.
And then we kind of taught them how to plant it, and...
Was there a limit?
How many most kids only...
1 cup per kid, or...?
No.
Oh, okay.
Most kids only wanted to do 2 cups, and then they were done with it. One kid was so sweet and polite. He was like, 2's enough. I want to save some for the rest of these kids. And I'm like, I was thinking, there's not going to be any more kids.
Maybe that kid, it left a mark on.
Yeah. He's like, this is awesome. I want other people to experience this.
Yeah. 1 seed makes a lot of tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, especially with these little kids. They were heavy hitters.
Heavy on the seeds?
Oh, my God, yeah. We had these little scooper things in there.
Yeah.
And by halfway through, our instructor was like, you might have to, instruct the children to put it in their hands first because they want to put 20 seeds in one hole.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tomatoes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're, learning how to divide and transplant.
Oh, wow. This is great.
Hey, this is a multi-tiered process.
I know. So here I was before I had to go. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to do it.
You were not happy.
I was
For the
super
record, she was not happy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just wasn't.
Well, it was early. It's a 45-minute ride. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free time.
Mm-hmm.
You actually pay to do it. Just saying.
Yeah.
You pay to be there.
Yep. So, but it is a requirement. So I was like, I'll just get it over with. And it ended up being way more fun than I thought, so...
But you didn't get a chance to walk around?
I did not go to the Sugar House.
Did not? Okay, so Sugar Shack.
Sugar Shack.
Sugar Shack has many names. Here are a few. Sap House.
I like it.
Sugar House.
Sap House is sassy.
Sugar Cabin. Sugar Shanty.
Whoa.
That's the winner.
We've got different classes there.
Well, it says...
Do you have a Sugar Cabin or do you have a Sugar Shanty? Sugar Shanty, you're down to earth. You don't really care about appearances.
Cabin implies
you're here to
we're
get
staying.
A job done.
Cabin implies to me
A cabin implies to me it is a it's a hobby. It's not a lifestyle.
I have a hobby cabin. I do hobbies in my cabin.
No, I have a hobby. What do you call it? A sugar cabin?
It's a sugar cabin.
Yes, that implies it's a one and done.
I guess house also implies you stay.
Yes.
Shanty doesn't sound like you're staying.
That is true.
I'm just visiting the shanty.
I don't know. The shanty, they could be staying. The shanty means you're doing with what you have, you know?
Mm.
You're going to get it done, and you're going to appreciate it, and it's going to get you
good.
through.
It's good to get your take here
Yeah.
on these words, what the impact to you
Thank
is.
you.
A sugar shack is slang or a common term for a building, especially in eastern Canada and northern New England, where maple sap is boiled down to make maple syrup. It's also known as a sap house, sugar shanty, or sugar cabin.
Sugar cabin.
That's pretty neat, you know? And I think it's the last
I like Maple House the best.
Maple House?
Yeah.
That wasn't even on here.
No, but it should, it should be, though. That's my vote.
Maple
It
House.
kind of reminds me of Waffle House.
What is
And that might be
maple
why I
tree
like it.
in botanical? Acer. So, Acer rubrum, that is red maple. Acer, I can't remember sugar maple.
Well, you got that
Oh,
computer
yeah,
in your
it's
hand.
right in front of me. Hold on, yeah.
it's-
And now a word from our sponsor.
Google.
What was that noise? Is that the wind?
That was a word from our sponsor.
Oh no, I heard something outside. Okay, let's see here. Spelling it wrong. Botanical name for
Sugar maple.
sugar maple, sugar beet. Oh no, that's sugar cane.
Oh,
Hold on,
I will try as well.
sugar maple. No, come on. Here we go. Acer saccharum. So it's like saccharum, but Acer saccharum. Sugar maple, in quotes, Acer saccharum, sometimes called hard maple or rock maple, is one of the largest and more important of the hardwoods.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, for sure. Right now, you drive around the back roads around here and you see all the little blue lines.
Yeah.
Those people are sugaring.
So I don't understand the lines, though. Man, we got to get somebody that does do.
We gotta get a sugar person.
I know.
Now I gotta look
'Cause,
up
like-
what the term is for a maple syrup
oh my
person.
goodness.
Hold on.
Because, yeah, you see those blue lines. Like, I'm wondering, are they all connected? Is it like they're all being siphoned to one central location to get, bulked? Bulk, whatever they're
Yeah, they
doing
all
there.
usually lead down to one.
Well, you
main
usually
tank.
I've seen plenty of trees. They just have one bucket, just like on the tree.
Hobbyists.
That is the sugar cabiners.
No, the sugar shantyites.
They're not going to invest in all the equipment because they're only there once a year.
Someone who makes
Spring
maple
vacation.
syrup is just called a sugar maker. Here's a little more about the process.
They should be called maplers.
Ooh, sapplers.
Oh, a sapler.
No, it's too much like sackler.
I'm a sapler.
Or a sapper.
Sir Sapple.
Very interesting. If anybody listening does this, reach out. I want to know some more terms.
We want to talk to you.
Yeah, I definitely want to have
Dylan
someone.
wants to talk to you. I want to listen to the show afterwards.
A sugar maple. Nope, sugar maker. Okay, well that's not exciting. Anyway, so that is the recap on your weekend at the, what was it, Maple Fest, basically?
The Hebron Maple Fest, yes.
Maple Fest.
They do it every single year.
See, they got a freaking Maple Fest, but there's no Potato Fest in this area?
Yeah, it's time.
Give me a
It's
break.
time.
If maple syrup is indicative of northeastern Connecticut, then so are potatoes. Okay?
Yeah.
Because they're right here.
And we've got plenty of New England potatoes.
Yeah, we got to get on that. We won't talk about that because that's a great idea, and I don't want to unleash that to the world yet. But soon. We haven't. Well, what do we name it? Oh yeah, New England potatoes.
Yep.
The New England Spud Co. Boom. NESC.
Okay.
That didn't hit you hard.
NCIS.
NCIS. Totally different. Totally different.
Great show.
Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the 2025 chick season and how absolutely absurd it
The
is.
chick craze. I had somebody ask me at church today
Mm.
if I had any chickens
Do you
for
know
sale.
a guy?
Yeah. Luckily, she did know that I had chickens. It wasn't just like she was asking, "Hey, by the way, does
Yeah.
anybody here know about chickens?"
Yeah, I'm jonesing for some baby chicks.
Do you know anybody with
anybody?
chickens?
Can I get some baby chicks?
Yeah. So she was
You got some
looking
chicks
for
in your
laying
pocket?
hens. All of hers got.
They got.
They got.
What happened?
She thinks a hawk and or owl.
Ooh. So the head was
Yeah.
gone.
I didn't ask any more detailed questions.
Okay.
I just said, that's too bad. I did tell her how, which now I guess I'm telling the world.
Telling the world.
We do leave a little buffer when people order.
Oh, yes, because we have mortality.
Yes.
Because we have
and you want to be able to fulfill
the
orders that people have already paid for and have been promised. And to think about it, it would actually be just so... It'd be so sad if we couldn't fulfill an order and these people ordered in January and now they aren't able to get chickens. So that's why we keep a buffer.
As if I didn't sleep well already. Thank you, Cass. It would just ruin their entire life if they couldn't get any
Dylan
birds.
and I actually have a great business bond because I'm not very good with my words sometimes. But we really work well because Dylan is like, I thought I was optimistic until I met Dylan, and he is just like farting optimism. Yes!
He's delusional.
Yeah. And I am a little bit too cynical sometimes, and I think of every worst case scenario. Dylan is like, why would you even think about that? And I'm like, we just have it's great. It's
I'm more like, let's plan to do it to have a success, and if there is a failure...
I've already thought of 10 ways to fix it, and I've already thought of worse things that could have happened.
People are understanding, and let me tell you something. Just because people put in what they want for breeds, they'll take absolutely anything.
Right.
Because I've had to sub because, you lose a couple more black Australorps, and you have extra New Hampshire Reds, so it's like, dude, do you want eggs? Or do you just want to say you have chickens?
Or do you want a pet?
Yeah. I mean, you could call them a pet, but, why are you getting them? Breed really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We only raise really good egg layers.
That's true.
The color of the chicken is 100% irrelevant.
Actually,
that is the person's problem.
I had one person, which I actually was wow, respect.
Yeah.
They wanted 6 chickens. They wanted some Easter egg. Well, they wanted a couple different kinds. They wanted 2 buffs.
Yeah.
They wanted 2...
Orpington, English.
Buff, yes.
Heritage.
2, I want to say maybe New Hampshire Reds.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Or it could have been the Black Australorp. I can't remember what we had more of, so this is just what I told them. And then they wanted 2 Easter eggers. So I gave them, she asked me what they were going to look like. So I sent her some photos I found on Google. And
already did too much.
It was somebody I knew. I didn't care. No, anyways, she didn't want the Easter eggers. She didn't care if they laid blue eggs because she didn't like how the chicken looked.
Yeah, they're kind of weird looking.
Yeah, and I told her that they weren't going to breed true. I don't know what color Easter egger you're going to get.
Right, they're all different.
Yeah.
Because they're all hybrids. So that's the thing about
I was like, okay, because we have people on the other end of that. If we don't have any Easter eggers, they say
we'll hit you up next spring.
Yeah.
Literally, we had 3 people. They were like, "Do you have Easter eggers?" I said, "No," and they said, "We'll talk to you next spring." Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have them, but you got to reach out earlier. And it's like when I worked at the local grain store. One year was chick crazy. The next year was slow. Still sold chicks, but slow. These days, it's almost like the big hatchery lobbyists are doing their job, man, because what did they used to say? Uncle Sam's motto is chicken in every pot for every American.
Oh.
So it's almost like we're going back. We're just going backwards. And it's great because everybody wants to have chickens. Everybody wants to be off of the grocery store.
You know what I think?
It's good.
Could have contributed to it. We had this egg craze 2 years ago when the eggs went up, but the eggs the eggs were up for a lot longer, I think, this year. The prices.
Well, I think the prices went higher.
I think so too. And it was where before, I think maybe a couple years ago, sure, the middle grade eggs went up and the free range organic whatever, those were already expensive, those went up, but it was you could still find a decent priced great value brand egg.
While we're talking about eggs, I heard a story recently that there is a local egg bandit in our area. Wow. Just going driveway to driveway, taking eggs from people that are selling them at the end of their driveway.
Wild.
It's crazy. I mean, that's how valuable eggs are now. You get a 10 spot for a dozen. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
So I could, someone could go raid 2 stands, make $200.
You really think they're selling them for $10 out there?
Dude, they're
Around
stealing
us?
them.
No,
they're
no,
not
but
stealing
I mean around
to eat them.
us?
Oh, well.
$10 a dozen for local eggs?
Maybe. They could also be, I mean, we were selling them to Willimantic Food Co-op. We have no idea what they're paying for eggs for right now. Last time we were selling, they were paying $5 a dozen. We were only charging $4. Eggs were clearly cheaper. We have no idea. They could be charging. They could be buying eggs from local farmers right now at market price, which could be $8-9 a dozen.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't worked with them in a little bit because we just can't keep up.
Funny video today when I was scrolling through Facebook, and it was a mom doing colored potatoes with the kids for Easter.
I like that. That's funny.
Colored spuds.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny loves potatoes.
Oh my God. Well, if anybody else, hears of anything.
Do bunnies even like eggs?
Bunnies?
Yeah.
No.
Why do we do eggs? Easter eggs.
Listen, there's some I've heard the explanation how both of these symbols.
The egg lobbyers got better, is what we're. This year,
Who are the bunny lobbyists? The chocolate makers? Yes, that's how it happened.
I'm confused.
Big chocolate fused with the bunny.
Oh, the chocolate bunny. Right. I'm still thinking of live bunnies. I'm like, what's that to do with chocolate?
Yeah, no.
I was thinking about eggs, too. I'm like, what does chocolate and eggs have to do with each other?
I guess you do see more rabbits, too, in springtime than you do.
I guess so. That's their time.
It's their time. I think all the time is their time. But, when I had rabbits, they didn't breed well in the wintertime. So maybe wild rabbits don't either. I'm not sure.
Right, why would they?
Why would
you
they?
A little baby.
Well, they
you
do say
outside.
breed like rabbits, but I think that it's because of how often a female rabbit can give birth and how many they will give birth to.
Okay.
I want to have Eddie on because Eddie has a strapping license and he has a background in all of that, so he would probably shed some light on all that. We'll have them on soon. So yeah, the chick craze is crazy. I heard that at the local grain store there was a line out the freaking door and a 45-minute wait.
Yeah.
And if you were in the back, by the time you got to the front, there was nothing left to buy.
Right.
You probably couldn't even buy a freaking chick
water.
waterer.
How crazy is that? Because it's you're not going to leave that line for the glimpse of hope that you might be able to get them.
I was in there today, and I heard good old Joe tell a customer that the silky bantams that are coming in are $18.99 a piece.
Wow.
For babies. And silkies are not sexed, so they're going to be straight run. Boys, girls, you don't know. And, that's crazy money.
That's crazy money.
And we have
and for chicks, so they might not even live.
Yeah. And bantams are, by definition, smaller. So bantams have a tougher time thriving anyway. So if anybody out there wants a little bit of chick advice, try not to mix day-old bantams with day-old standard-sized breeds. Or you might be able to get away with it if they're both day-old. But really, any 3+ days on the standard-sized breeds,
they're gonna just trample them.
Yeah, you can have an issue. If you have a Bantam Brahma, they're a little heavier. They might be okay. But if you're gonna mix in an old English game Bantam, those things look like little quail when they're babies.
Yeah.
Those things are gonna get trampled to death.
Okay.
So there's something to that. We used to have different broods.
You think even if they only get 6 baby chicks?
Maybe.
Still run the risk.
You run the risk. Just don't mix them. Give them a couple days apart and then put them together.
Okay.
That's what I always did. When we had babies, we had a lot of Bantam breeds when we had the hatching house. So 10 out of the 25 breeds were Bantam.
Yeah. News to me today, I think is a great idea. We should be hatching some barnyard mixes.
We're going to do it.
Because
we're going to do it.
We had thought about, because we've gotten so many inquiries about chickens and we're sold out, getting more chicks in. Why not,
Well, you know what? At the same time.
But we can't.
We can't.
These hatcheries, they're not shipping until July because they're sold out.
Yes, I saw some
October.
Wild. I've never seen that.
Wild.
These are hatcheries producing many, 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 many millions of chicks.
Right.
Not a couple hundred.
So, all of the Tractor Supplies of the world probably tripled their orders.
I've seen some stuff about Tractor Supply selling $10 chicks that are barnyard mixes. Straight up.
Wow.
They're calling them well bars, which is a well summer cross with a barred rock, which is not a recognized breed.
Oh.
It's literally a barnyard mix.
Does it breed true? Does it have true traits?
The only true trait it seemed to have was the barring on the feathers. So it just looked like a barred rock that laid like a dark colored egg.
Okay.
So you got the well summer dark chocolate egg with the barred rock look, probably the reliability.
So maybe they're
too.
trying to get their own breed going?
Well, maybe, but they're selling them as a breed and they're not. So we're going to let Poe in. Now that the dogs are in and knocked over the microphone, we're back. Yeah, so they're selling barnyard mixed chicks at Tractor Supply, straight run, not sex. That's what straight run means. You don't know what the gender is.
So it means roosters.
Well, yeah, good chance. At least 50%. And they're getting $10. So I'm thinking to myself, if we fill that incubator.
And just let our listeners know, if you do go and buy these chicks and you get roosters, no, we do not want them.
Yeah, we don't want them. But if you get a pullet from us and it ends up being a puleto, I don't know, a boy, we will take it back.
Yeah.
We might not be able to offer you a hen in exchange, but we will take it off your hands.
We will take your money to process that rooster for you for your dog food.
We could do that. We did that with a few people. We turned their roosters, unwanted roosters, into some dog food. So that's something. That's something you could do. But yeah, so the chicken craze is hot this season. We can't even get in new chicks, so we're gonna hatch some of our own. It's a 21-day cycle from start to finish for babies.
Yep.
And we could put like 4 dozen in our incubator at one time.
At this rate, we hatch them tomorrow, say, and they won't because they're not even started. It's still going to take 6 months for them to start laying eggs.
Yeah, that's 100%. But that's September.
Yes.
It's not that bad.
Yep. So we have another flock coming in first week of April.
Yep.
Which we thought was the first week of March.
Yeah, I got my dates wrong.
Wah, wah, wah.
But, there's a lot on the calendar, there's a lot on the plate. And guess what? People still want them.
Yes. But so those aren't going to start laying until
Well, if they're born in April, yeah. October. No, October.
October.
4 to add 6 months. 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, October. But, whatever. I mean, that's why I like to get chickens, pullets in the fall. And I'm already on the list with Cindy at Burr Farm to get, I think, 50 or 100 pullets. So we'll have replacements. We'll have chicks from, that we didn't sell, that we raised up, that, because I have a buffer in June of like 40 birds that I have not allocated. So we'll probably just keep them.
I would. Yeah.
But if we also hatch out some, I'm apt to keep those too, because they're all going to be hybrids of really good egg layers. Right. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And that's that's another step towards self-sufficiency, breeding your replacement flock and stock. That's enough on chickens, kind of. I'm also going to touch on these chicken tractors we've been pumping out. Because we're trying to do 500 broiler chickens every month, we needed to increase our shelter space. So we are going with the Joel Salatin model-esque. Little tweakage here and there, but everybody's is going to be different.
Joel Salatin meets Daigle Farm chicken tractor.
Polyphase. I wonder if he listens.
Daigle face.
No. But yeah, so we've been making these tractors out of some native lumber and some, reclaimed sheet metal roofing that was going to get thrown out. Shout out to my dad, who takes home so many things from job sites.
You can't. That's the thing. You can't get mad at pack rats when it comes in handy.
Yeah, it's come in handy. Sometimes you got to make it handy, but
yeah,
that's also good. It's there. So yeah, we're pumping out these chicken tractors. We got to build 10 of them. I got 2 down, and the third one is cut out. I got to just put it together. Tomorrow's a rain day, so I might put it together inside if I move the sink out of my way.
At least the frame.
Yeah, but I got to move them. I got to make some space because I've been building them outside in the driveway there.
Yeah.
And they're coming along good. They're pretty lightweight. I don't think either one of us will have a problem moving them every day, twice a day.
So we were going to have an employee to, take care of these chickens every day while they're at the other farm. But we decided collectively that we're just going to take on that task.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it in the morning. Dylan's going to do it in the afternoon. And we're going to pay ourselves like we were going to pay
The
our
helper,
employee.
our helper,
We are
yeah.
the employees now.
Yeah.
Yep. We're used
Well.
to doing a lot of. We're already
the employees. We're just
We're
gonna.
used to doing a lot of tasks for free. So
Here's
just
the-
knowing that we're gonna pay ourselves for this, which would otherwise be a task you don't get paid to feed and water the chickens.
No, that's true. I mean,
You get
yes,
paid for the eggs they lay. You get
I
paid
get
for
paid
the
for the
chicken
meat.
when they're yeah.
you know. But long story short, we were gonna have a helper. Things changed, and instead of looking for another helper, we're just gonna buckle down and do it ourselves, and really grow the business and just make it explode.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you're upset about that and you wanted to be the helper, check in with me in a couple months when I'm sick of doing it every morning.
Well, we'll be up there through November.
Yeah.
You know, and hey, that's our season. That's our biggest product. It's chicken.
Mm-hmm.
People want it, and we got it, and it's good.
I'm so excited to have more chicken this year. But Dylan is busting out these chicken tractors. I do think we should put a little handle on the top of it. Like where the door is, just put a tiny little handle so you can easily
Pick it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Sounds like the wind picked up one of them today
Whoa.
and possibly broke the door.
That's not great.
It's not great.
That
So
will happen with chickens in it.
righto. That means I have
So
to put
it's
some
too
kind of.
lightweight.
Well, it's. I guess it was windy. I caught it at the right angle, but
Yeah.
I have to put a latch to hold the door down.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't going to because
it
I thought they
really
were heavy
only-
enough.
It only lifted. It didn't lift the whole thing. Just
No,
lifted
just the door. I guess
Okay.
flew up and broke.
Alrighty.
Actually, I haven't assessed the damage. So my dad said it broke, but it could be okay.
Okay. Well, maybe
No.
it just like came off of the hinge a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
All right.
Annoying.
So we do need to have a latch, which it's gonna be a double safety mechanism to make sure nothing can get in there anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So could be a happy little accident that it
Happy
broke.
little accident.
Because now we're gonna put what do you call them? Hatches? Nope.
Latches.
Latches. Oh my gosh! Sometimes
Hatches
I
and
can't.
latches.
My brain just
Playing with matches.
goes blank sometimes. Oh man.
That was good.
I can never do that when I'm trying to like make it go blank though.
Make it go blank.
Like nighttime or I don't know. Yoga.
Or yoga. I don't know.
I don't know.
Prayer. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what we got going on the farm. It is March 16th, and we are almost in full swing. We have a lot of stuff growing in the greenhouse. I did some transplanting the other day of broccoli, fennel, head lettuce, and stalk kale. Looking forward to having all of that.
This year too, we are gonna bug net those broccolis.
We need to source that. Let's make a note.
We're gonna source that.
No, we need to get some. That's what I mean. We need to find a source for that bug netting.
We're gonna source the bug netting,
We
get
got-
it, and net them.
She's getting crazy. I'm just kidding.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah. We are going to wrap up the show. We're going to close the show doing the raffle pull. Okay, now, for those of you who remember, the raffle pull, the raffle is for knowing the name of the song and the artist that we were closing the show with for the past month.
That one time.
No, it's like the past month or so. Guess Cass hasn't been listening. Shocker. Anyway.
I'll listen to this one.
And then tell me how much you don't like the sound of your voice.
Who does?
Well, I guess that's a good point. But
Yeah.
it sounds good. Like, it doesn't sound bad.
Oh shucks.
Oh, she started red,
I'm
folks.
getting red.
Anyway,
Cut
we're going
this
to close the show with a little birthday celebration special to the both of
That's
us.
right.
Farmer Cass's
Woot woot.
birthday is March 7th, which is past.
Yes.
But she turned
30.
nice drum roll. I probably could have found one to insert, but we're gonna go with that
You know,
one.
you might still want to.
And my birthday is this Thursday, the 20th, and I
The
will
first day of
also-
spring. How fitting.
Yes, the vernal equinox and the first day of spring.
Yeah. When
and
I think
will-
of you, I think vernal equinox.
I don't know if that's a compliment or a weird pickup line. When I think of you, I think of the summer solstice. You know
At
what
least I
I'm
don't
saying,
think of vernal pools.
baby? Okay. stagnant, full of frogs. Neat. So we both turn 30 this month and begin a new chapter on the decades.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, you're entering a new decade, I'm entering a new decade. What is a goal you have for this next decade?
Ooh.
It could be simple, it could be within the next year, it could be... I kind of want to get a little deeper. I want to know a big goal you have for this next decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, this feels like a trap. I'm going to say that I'd like to maybe build or buy a home.
Okay.
In the next decade.
All right.
Maybe sooner than 10 years. Definitely within the next 10 years.
Okay.
And I also want to turn this barn into a grocery store.
Ooh,
so there you
yes.
go. Those two things I want to make happen.
There's a beautiful farm store.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah, Sweetland Farms.
Sweetland in Vermont.
In Vermont. I don't know if it's in the same town, but your uncle lives in Norwich, Vermont. It's very close to there.
It's very close, yeah. We went there in October.
Amazing, beautiful, spectacular,
very
wonderful,
cool place.
Magnificent. They have a pick your own CSA. I thought that was genius.
Pretty smart.
And their store, it's so cute. It reminds me of like a Sweet Peas, but real.
But better.
But real.
Yeah, like they grow the food.
They do.
Or it's at least from the local area.
Yep. And they're, all about the local economy.
And you know what else? It's a self-serve grocery shop.
Yes.
So, like, we were there. We saw employees stocking the produce bins in the other room.
Yeah.
But there was no one there to ring you out. You just ring yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
We might do some of that.
Yeah.
I think having a hidden gem like Daigle Farm Grocery Store or whatever we end up calling it, Daigle Farm Marketplace, I have no idea. Where, because we're making fresh food in our kitchen, we can sell hot food in the grocery store.
Right.
We can sell, like, a rotisserie chicken.
Ooh, like a soup spot.
A soup bar.
Yeah.
A baked potato bar year-round.
Whoa, we're bringing back the salad bar.
Bringing back the baked potato.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Definitely an underappreciated food.
For sure.
And there's definitely no restaurant that specializes in the baked potato, is there?
Is there? I don't know.
No.
I'm sure there's a lot of restaurants that is an option for a side.
Sure.
Seems like something Chili's would do. They seem
Longhorn.
like a baked. Oh yeah, probably a steakhouse.
Let's not be capitalist shills for these corporate people.
Okay.
Yeah, come to Daigle Farm and we can serve you like a fresh Reuben or something. It's coming up.
Something.
It's gonna be on our sourdough. So happy birthday, Cass.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Dylan.
There we go. It would be weird if I said it, but I said half of it. So, that's gonna do it. Oh, yeah. Let's do the raffle poll here. Okay. So we had a ton of entries. I couldn't even not laugh. We had some entries. Thank you to those who did partake. And you've got a Daigle Farm Simply Growing Food t-shirt coming your way.
You sure do. What color is it?
It's blue.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's one size, so I hope you're not picky. Here we go. And I don't remember. I think it's a large, so.
All right, it's pretty standard.
Yeah, it's standard. Maybe an extra large. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just don't want to pick one. All right, here we go. Maybe you should hear it.
Maybe I should pick it.
Oh, yeah, you pick it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you pick it. There we go. All right. And the winner is... Melinda, you are the new owner of a brand new Daigle Farm Simply Growing Food t-shirt, AV Blue.
Woot woot.
We will be in touch, and I know you listen to the show, so that's cool. And I know that you ordered eggs this week, so...
You'll be getting it this week, as long as we don't forget to put it in the van.
Easy. I will do my very best.
You will be getting it soon.
To remember. Anything else you want to say to the fans, Cass?
Thanks for having me on again. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay tuned for some more crazy stories by Cassidy Ball.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Simply Growing Food podcast. I hope that you found it informational and educational. And if not, that's a shame. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening to the Simply Growing Food podcast. If you liked it, please share us with a friend or a family member. We appreciate your support. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to hear us talk about. If you got questions about farming, if you got questions about what you're eating, please send it to us. You can send it to us at www.simplygrowingfood.com, or you can send us an email at simplygrowingfood@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Simply Growing Food Podcast, or just find us on Facebook under Daigle Farm. Give us a Google for Daigle Farm. You'll find us. We appreciate the support. Thanks for all of it.